Hello, this is Brighton TV and this is the match preview for Brighton vs Arsenal. And yesterday versus West Ham we drew 2-2, and in the first half we controlled the game. We didn't let West Ham have any chances at all. We had one half chance where March and Burn, they linked up well down the left hand side, and Burn whipped it in low cross to Malpe, who ended up scoring, and that was a huge confidence boost for Malpe, since before that I thought he wasn't playing that well, but after that goal he seemed to be playing a lot better, holding the ball up better, making more positive runs. That could be huge for us, especially when we look at this Arsenal game. But at half-time, Lallana, he ended up getting injured, so he had to get subbed off Valzate. And West Ham, they made more positive changes, so they ended up being on the front from the start of the second half. And we knew what was coming when West Ham, they constantly went down the wings, trying to cross it in, and we didn't really try and stop the crosses. We should have put more urgency to try and stop the crosses. Don't let them go in and do the cross. We didn't do that. They eventually went into a scramble around about the 60th minute where they scored, and we really should have stopped the cross way before it happened. But then from the set piece, we had a really cheeky short corner with March and Trossard, who passed it short, and then March whipped it in for Dunk, who ended up scoring that corner, and VAR checked to see if it was handball. There wasn't any handball, and then it's 2-1. And in this sort of game, you really need to go and keep the lead, and we weren't able to do that. West Ham, they kept on going, they kept on going down the wings and whipping it in, and we didn't have enough urgency to stop the crosses. They ended up having a corner, and Dunk should have cleared it, and then White, he lost his man. If either of those things don't happen, if we go and do the right thing there, that goal doesn't happen, and we'd be talking about us winning. And they're the margins which we've seen all season. We've had margins which have gone against us, and we need to go and create our own luck to get more wins. March and Burn, they were excellent that game down the left hand side. They were playing well, linking up with the attack, and Burn, I was really surprised with him, but he ended up making a lot of runs from centre back into midfield, and his distribution was great that game. And I've talked about more urgency from the defenders. We also need more urgency from the attackers to try and get into the box. I remember in the first half, there's a half chance where the ball went over the top, and March ended up being one-on-one with the West Ham fullback down the left-hand side. March ended up going into the box, but there wasn't anyone near him. There wasn't a single Brighton player running at the box to try and get onto the end of the cross, and since there wasn't anybody there, March had to take a shot, and they're the sort of margins which we need to go and have more urgency. And then again, 85th minute, March had a shot where the likes of Trossard and Malpe, both of them were right next to the shot, but we didn't have the guts to go and get to the ball and tap in that cross, and they're the things that we need to go and improve. And Arsenal, they're going to have a huge confidence boost thanks to their 3-1 game against Chelsea. They ended up playing a lot more younger players, and they proved to be really good. Saka, Smith Rowe and Martinelli especially, they played with a lot of confidence. They played like they really wanted to go and prove something. And when you look at Arsenal's form recently, they've had 2 wins in their last 11 games, 8 points in that run. And we've only had 1 win in that same run of games. But when you look at the actual points, we've had 10 points from the last 11 games. So we haven't won too many games, and what we've done is we've not lost too many. We've only lost 3 of our last 11 games, but we draw way too many games that we should be winning. This West Ham game we should have won. We ended up making small errors defensively, which needs to improve. You look at the Sheffield United game, these are the sorts of games that we're drawing, which we really need to go and win to try and keep ourselves above the relegation zone. And last season we did the double over them, and that Malpe goal, first game from lockdown, Malpe scoring in the 90th minute, a great goal, and that boosted our survival hopes last season, and hopefully we can do something similar this game. And Arsenal, some of their players are key for them. You look at Saka, Martinelli and Smith Rowe. They're not their best players, but they are really hungry young players, and they've been performing quite well. And Smith Rowe, he's all their creativity. Without him, they didn't seem to create any chances. With him in the side, he started creating a lot. And Saka, we know he's so versatile and he can score goals. Look at the goal well. He scored against Chelsea. And Martinelli, he's somebody who presses really well and he can score great goals. So we do need to be wary of them three players. And my lineup for this game, I play a 3-4-1-2, and in goal I'd play Sanchez with a back three of Dunk, Burn and Webster. And the reason why I'm not including White is because Arsenal, they tend to cross the ball a lot, and that's where the likes of Burn and Webster and Dunk, they're better at heading the ball away. Burn and Webster, I think they'll be better more on the flanking sides of the centre-backs. And similar to Sheffield United last season, where their centre-backs would overlap and help the attack, I think that's what Burn and Webster could do. And when you look at the West Ham game, they did it in parts. Burn for the goal and Webster quite a few times. He ended up running into midfield and picking out a pass. And the wing-backs, March and Veltman. Veltman wasn't included for the West Ham game, but I think he definitely should play as the wing-back, because White, he's not a wing-back. He's great as a centre-back, but play him out wide of the wing-back, he's not as good. So that's why I'd prefer Veltman, who can actually play there. And the midfield two, I play Alzate and Gross. And the reason why I'm not putting Basuma is because Basuma ran so much versus West Ham. I don't think he'll be able to go and do another 90 minutes versus Arsenal. I wouldn't be surprised if Basuma could play the last half an hour versus Arsenal. But it will be too risky of Basuma ending up getting injured. So that's why I'd rather play Alzate and Gross. And I think them two are good enough. And in the 10 role, I think it should be Alexis McAllister. I think he'll give us something different. He'll give us more of a direct creativity threat compared to the likes of Trossard and Lallana. And with Lallana out and Trossard, I think he didn't play well enough versus West Ham to start. I'd rather have McAllister, who'll be able to play in that 10 space. And he's a specialist 10. I think he'll play well in that role. And the two up front, I play Connolly and Malpe. And Arsenal, their defenders struggle so much against the press that I think Connolly and Malpe are two best pressing forwards. They should play this game. They'll put the Arsenal defenders under a lot of pressure and they'll end up making mistakes. And we need to go and capitalise on the mistakes they make. And my score predictions for this game, I think will be 2-1 Brighton. And I think Martinelli will score for Arsenal. And Malpe, who's back in form, normally when he scores a goal, he'll go and score another couple goals. So that's why I think Malpe will score. And I think Webster, from set pieces, he's looked dangerous this season. I think Webster will also score. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Brighton TV and follow us on Instagram.